I was just chatting with a very dear friend of mine from a southern state. I'm not going to mention her name. She told me how sweet I was because I'd said something sweet to her. And the only thing I could think of to say was, which I did say, "Yep, baby, I'm sweeter than the apple pie that the big boss man's mama used to make for the inmates in late 1980s WWF wrestling." And it's true. And by the way, that was some skit that they had. I used to love the 80s. I still like wrestling, but I was really into it. In fact, I said many times I used to run the Ted DiBiase routine in 1990. 1990. No, 89 to 90. All the big contractors, of which I was one, I had American Certified at the time for several years selling siding, just like the movie Tin Man. And David Dinkins, the mayor of New York, he was a communist Zionist pig. He closed down all the sales finance companies because then we couldn't do no money down financing. So all the big wigs, the heavy hitters, the high rollers, the blue suede boys, as they call them. And by the way, I had blue suede shoes. I had green suede shoes. Forget about it. You wouldn't believe what I had. I went to work for a good buddy of mine, a big contract that he had. He owned the whole block. He had his own window factory. He hired all the big wigs because he was an honorable guy, but he wouldn't give them a drawer. I swear by the gods, I should drop dead right now. He gave me a town car, and I already had, of course, a nice car. He paid for my gas, and he gave me $4,000 a week as a drawer. One gospel radio lead, and a canvasser, a Spanish guy who was a great guy by the name of Marty Seville. And I ran an act that was called the DiBiase routine. We would go on a block during the day. Big Rick could give, the guy owner of the company would give me one gospel radio lead a night. He wouldn't give anybody the gospel radio leads, only himself, which he was a great closer in my league. And I could go in and sell these people from the gospel radio leads anything, because, they liked me, and I liked them. I genuinely did. And but in the day, Marty, we parked the town car in Bed-Stuy, East New York, East Flatbush, Bushwick, usually Brooklyn, because we stayed in the Brooklyn area. And I'm not a Brooklyn boy, I'm from East Harlem. But he'd knock on the doors and say, the real Ted DiBiase, the real $1 million man is in the car. And he has money for home improvements, no money down, which was true. We could have got anybody financing. If I sold a $20,000 job, a $30,000 job, a $15,000 job, people's credit was terrible, but it wouldn't matter. The finance company would take a 20% chop off the top, and then that would be the difference. So what happened was, he'd get me in a house, and and he would say, "This is the real $1 million man." And I would slap him in the head, "Shut up, Seville," just like DiBiase used to do with Virgil. Then they'd say, "Are you the real $1 million man?" And I was dressed to the nines. Oh, yeah. And I'd say, "Let me tell you a little tale. Ted DiBiase met me at a party in New Orleans in 1983. Of course, this is a story. It never happened. But I said, he met me at a party and was very jealous of me. He acted like he was my friend, but he wasn't. So he went out and had plastic surgery and came out as an ugly version of me. And if you notice, he'll never wrestle at the Nassau Coliseum, only at Madison Square Garden. When he's in New York, and they said, "Yeah, why is that?" I says, "Because here's my card," and I give him a card, which was real. I had a suite at the Long Island Marriott. Well, what a time! My God, those mornings after those long nights doing the lines and drinking the Cavassier or whatever the hell it was, the Macallan's 25 years, because we were making money. And I said he'd never wrestle at the Coliseum because he knows if he's at the Coliseum that I will run across the parking lot, run into the ring, and pin him 1, 2, 3. It was so funny, so hilarious, and then I'd wind up usually closing the deal. It was a great time. Do I miss it? Yeah, sometimes. But I kind of like what I do now. I like being of service to the highest and greatest good of all. Pays off my bad karma, and it makes me happy that I'm doing something that's correct for the highest and greatest good of all, to bring back balance to the earth. The balance between good and evil. Because, folks, it's really way out of hand. I just thought I'd share that story because I'm in a very funny mood today, as I said in another video. That's all, folks.